Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, grumpy old man.
Young man.
Happy birthday to you, young man.
I
thought that's what we said.
Hey, they got you on film.
Early one morning while making the rounds, I took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. I went right home and I went to bed. I stuck at 1144 beneath my head. Got up next morning and I grabbed that gun. Took a shot of cocaine and away I run. Made a good run, but I run too slow. They overtook me down in Juarez, Mexico.
Ooh, I got a lot of questions for you. You think you're ready? Think you're ready for all these questions? So, when were you born?
When was I born? I was born in October the 8th, 1933 in Kerrville, Texas.
When was the first time you moved away from
When the
Kerrville?
first time I moved away? Well, the first time I moved away was when I went in the service,
When you went into the Army?
went into the Army.
So, what age was that?
I think 20 years old, I think.
20 years old.
I think.
So, what was it like growing up in Kerrville?
We traveled a lot. We went to work, different places.
Mm-hmm.
Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi.
So you're traveling to Corpus Christi a lot?
Yeah, we were traveling a few years. And then we went to work in West Texas, to pick cotton over there in West Texas.
Pick cotton in West Texas.
Colorado City, Texas.
And so you did that all the way until you went into the Army?
Yeah, I did all that until I went to the Army. Because I was in the National Guard.
Uh-huh.
I was about 17 years when I joined the National Guard.
Oh, okay.
And I stayed in the National Guard for 3 years. And as soon as I got out of the National Guard, they drafted me.
Into the Army.
That was the end of the German War. The
Okay,
end
so at the end of World War II was when you went into the Korean War?
Yeah.
So the first job you had was picking cotton in Corpus Christi? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And then you went into the Army after that? Or you were in the National Guard and then you went into the Army?
I was in the National Guard,
Uh-huh.
but I was still in the National Guard, even though I was in the. I make my meetings. I was in Kerrville in the National Guard,
Mhm.
but when we went to pick up in Colorado, I made meetings over there in Colorado. Make the meetings, the National Guard meetings.
Do you remember how many jobs you've had in your entire life?
When I got out of the service, what was that big place? I used to make washers and dryers and stuff like that in Clyde, Ohio.
In Ohio?
In Ohio.
So after you got out of the Army, you were doing something that had to do with washers and dryers
Yeah.
in Ohio?
In Ohio.
And then what'd you do after that for your job?
I went to work for another place where where my cousins, usually they were the ones that find the job most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where they make sheetrock and stuff like that for the houses, make the sheetrock.
Oh, okay, sheetrock?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're doing that? You're
I'm doing that.
making sheetrock, okay. And then,
And then that job was a temporary job there. That's about the time, that was about the time when I got married.
that was when you got married to Grandma.
I had my grandma. And we were living there in Genoa, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
And I went to work and we make the crankshaft for Army trucks.
Uh-huh.
It's a machine shop.
Okay.
A machine shop. I worked there. And then the weather got pretty bad there, boy. It was cold and snow and stuff.
And this is still in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I was still in Ohio. I told your grandma that, man, we gotta move. We gotta move to Texas. It's too cold over here.
And so when you got to Texas, what did you end up doing?
I moved in with my grandfather, you know. And of course, my dad was there too. Your grandma wasn't.
Uh-huh.
And my uncle, lived in Fredericksburg, Uncle Antonio,
Uh-huh.
lived in Fredericksburg, and he was working in a farm and a ranch. And he told me they need somebody over there to go to work in the farm. Well, I go to work over there in a farm and a ranch.
When you went and worked at a ranch?
In a ranch.
Okay.
I went to work in a ranch. I worked there for a good while.
Uh-huh.
And then we had one Easter Sunday over there, and that's when your grandma told me, well, they're gonna come over here. Your aunts and your mom and dad coming over here. So we're gonna have Easter over here. We can go and hide the eggs. So I went and hid the eggs out in there was a little wood area.
Uh-huh.
And you know, we never found one egg.
Do you even know where you put them?
Well, I knew where I put them around, but they weren't there. I don't know whether the wild birds eat them or get them or what. Because there were turkeys and stuff like that there, you know.
Oh.
Rabbits and armadillos and you name it. We couldn't find one egg. But anyway, we had a good Easter there.
What'd you do after the ranch?
After the ranch, when I quit there, I moved back to Kerrville.
Uh-huh.
And it just so happened that when I moved to Kerrville, there was a guy working at the liquor store.
Uh-huh.
He come over and say, I'm moving to California. If you want the job, you can go and ask the guy if he can give you the job. So I went over and asked about it. He gave me the job. I stayed there for 10 years.
Worked at a liquor store for 10 years.
Yeah. I made deliveries. Sometimes I take the money to the bank, the boss's money to the bank. I took care of the warehouse. Warehouse liquor, because he had big old place, liquor store, liquor cases of liquor, you know.
Hmm.
And of course, fill up the shelves and fill up the freezer where they keep all the cold stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I keep that full too. Well, you know, the old man that was running, that owned the liquor store, sold it to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
And the other guy that bought it, he said, well, there won't be no more holiday, no more vacation. They want me to work there day and night, and open 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I just said, because they didn't do nothing. They just come in and stay there for a few minutes and they go, and him and his wife, you know, the new one, the new guy.
Yeah, so he wasn't even doing anything to help you.
No, I wasn't there to help me. So heck, I'm going to look for another job. So I just so happened that that Pepsi Cola was hired.
Pepsi Cola?
Because they had a warehouse in Kerrville. They were came from San Antonio to Kerrville.
Yeah.
And they had a warehouse in Kerrville. So I worked in the warehouse and also drove the truck. But I couldn't handle it. It was just too hard. I give them a week notice and I quit that job. And that's when I moved here to Fort Worth.
That's when you moved to Fort Worth?
Yeah.
What'd you end up doing when you got to Fort Worth?
I worked at the Fort Worth Sprocket, where they make sprockets for, at the time there was a lot of oil machinery, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
And they need sprockets for the motors and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I started making sprockets.
Sprockets.
Yeah. And I stayed there for a long time. I stayed there about a year, I guess. Manasco called me and told me I can come over there and put an application in. He said, well, you don't have enough experience for the kind of work we do, because that's a machine shop.
Yeah.
He said, you don't have enough experience, but you stay over there 6 months, and come back over here in 6 months. Well, I run a machine
Mm-hmm.
for, I don't know, about a couple of years, 2-3 years. And then I went into plating. And I stayed in the plating shop for the rest of my time. I swear.
Until you retired?
Till I retired. In plating
And plating at Monasco.
in Monasco.
What do you remember most about your parents? And do you remember anything about your grandparents?
My grandparents was, well, they said that he was working
Uh-huh.
when they were building the railroad track from San Antonio to Curvia.
Oh, okay.
They were building the railroad track.
So he was helping build the railroad track?
Yeah, build the railroad track.
Hmm.
And he worked, I don't know how long he worked there, because I wasn't even
Yeah,
around. And one of my uncles that was working with him, I don't know how he got hurt, but he cut his 2 fingers off.
Oh, really?
Cut his fingers off. And they gave him that house where Grandpa was living in.
Uh-huh.
They gave him that house.
Because he cut his fingers off?
Yeah.
They gave him a whole house?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess instead of insurance, they had no insurance, I guess.
Yeah. They just gave him a house.
They gave him a house. Or they didn't have a house either, so they needed a house. So
Yeah.
my grandfather lived there. I don't know if my grandmother was still alive or not. On my grandfather's side,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I didn't knew her.
You never knew your grandmother?
No. I knew my grandfather, but I didn't know my grandmother.
What do you remember about your parents the most?
Oh, my dad, of course, when I was in the service, they moved to Ohio,
Uh-huh.
and they worked my dad worked over there at the, what they call a sugar beet plant.
Sugar beet?
Yeah,
Sugar beet plant?
yeah, those plants that, where they had a factory over there where they grind them up and everything and make sugar out of them,
Huh.
That sugar beet. That big old plant about that big.
Interesting. I never heard of that before.
Never heard of that before?
Never heard of that
No.
before.
Oh, he worked there for a long time. There was another plant, a tomato plant.
So they were canning like fruits and vegetables and stuff
Fruits
like
and
that?
veggies and stuff like
Okay. And what about your mom?
that. She didn't work.
What did, do you remember anything about her special? Maybe it's something that she taught you or just anything?
Well, I know. She just took care of us. That's what she did.
Took care of you?
Yeah.
That's what a mom needs to do.
That's what you need to do, huh?
Yeah,
Just take care of the kids.
of course.
Yeah. Get us ready for school and
Just
keep us clean and feed us and stuff like that.
Just took care of the house and the kids?
Took care of the house and the kids.
What'd you do for fun when you were younger?
Huh?
What'd you do for fun when you were younger? When you were a kid?
When I was a kid, we got to go fishing, go swimming in the river, walk on the river. Because the river was right by the house, or too close to the house, pretty close to the house.
Yeah. Go to the river?
Yeah. You don't remember the house do you, in Kirby and on Patchwood Street?
I don't think I ever seen it.
You never seen it?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's not there anymore. My aunt, when my aunt took over that house,
Mm-hmm.
when my dad moved out of there, they tore that house down and built a new house there.
Oh.
But it's behind. It's a big lot, pretty good sized lot. About like this year, I guess. And there's a little creek in the back. It goes down there and go down to the river. But maybe a block and a half from the house there.
So you just run around and played in the river and
Played the
stuff?
river. And one side of it was a big old bank. I mean, it was high.
Uh-huh.
But it has a little, what do you call it? Where you can walk, you know.
Oh.
It was about that wide. And we go over there, and Mom and Dad, and there was other kids. Anyway, always afraid that we were going to fall, fall down in the water. And there were rocks down there.
Yeah.
But we walked down there. From our house down there.
Yeah.
Oh, but about a mile down the river.
Huh. What music did you listen to growing up? Like when you were younger?
Uh,
When you were younger, what kind of music did you listen to?
oh, we listened to a lot of Mexican music, but mostly, I guess, white music, country western.
Country western?
Yeah,
Seemed to be. So it was Mexican and country western music?
yeah, 'cause I know my older sister Tani,
Mm.
she likes the Mexican music more. She likes the loud music, and we didn't like that loud music.
Is there any specific person in your life that's like influenced you the most?
I don't know. I guess we're all about the same. My dad's brother was living there too with us, and because we had two rooms on one side of the house,
Mhm.
and they had the other two rooms. My grandfather and my younger uncle,
Uh-huh.
my dad's brother,
Yeah.
and we run around quite a bit.
So you think he may have influenced you a little bit
Yeah,
growing up?
and of course he was quite a bit older than me.
Yeah.
Got running with women and stuff, and he left.
So is there anybody that you can think of that maybe you learned a lot from, that you think you took a lot from?
I think Uncle Leto he was pretty good at doing things, around
Yeah.
and help my dad and help the whole family,
Yeah.
to fix this and fix that, and he was pretty good at that.
So he fixed everyone's problems.
Yeah, yeah, Uncle Leto was pretty good.
Okay. Like Uncle Leto.
Uncle Leto,
Uncle Leto. I don't know if I've heard that name before.
well, I call him Uncle Leto, was Tany's husband.
Uh-huh.
It was brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. How does it feel watching your own kids grow up and kind of create their own families themselves?
I don't feel anything that were affected me, in a bad way.
Yeah. So it's all been positive.
It's all positive.
So overall, how do you feel about your grandbabies and all
I
of your...
think they were all good grandbabies. All of you. You and Ava born over there at the hospital. And, I remember most of you when you were little. How old you guys?
What's your best or favorite memory that you can recall out of all of your entire life?
Out of my entire life.
What is your favorite memory? What is the one that sticks out the most to you?
I mean, I had good memories all my life, I think. As long as, Grandma and I were together, we traveled a lot, we go here and go there, and that was a good memory.
So traveling with Grandma was all the times you traveled with Grandma,
That was
because one of my favorite memories I'll share with you is when me, you, Grandma, and Mom and Dad and Ava, we were all traveling to Ohio. And you decided that you were going to accidentally smash her fingers in the cooler that we had. And she was mad at you the entire time, all the way to Ohio.
I mashed my fingers.
You mashed her fingers.
I mashed her fingers.
Yeah, she wasn't too happy about that. So the whole time, all the way to Aunt Sherry's house, she was not too happy.
Not too happy if I was a finger hurt.
Yeah, her fingers were hurting.
Yeah, well, I don't remember that, but you do.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite memories of
That's
you
one
guys.
of your favorite memories. Yeah, that was nice to go into Ohio and see her family over there,
Yeah, I liked meeting them because that was the first time I had met them.
Yeah,
And so getting to meet them and meet more family that I didn't know about was cool.
Yeah.
And I really liked that trip.
yeah. I like going over there.
You like going to Ohio?
I like going to Ohio. 'Cause, I get along with her brothers, and her mama and dad get along just fine.
Yeah.
Because after they passed away, then we went over there and stayed with Sherry.
Do you have any memories of them, of Grandma's mom and dad?
We always went over, when we went over there, they might have a dinner for us, and of course, Grandpa liked to drink. He'd buy about 10 cases of beer, and he liked that beer.
Yeah.
Most Germans do, you know.
Yeah. How'd you meet Grandma?
How did I meet Grandma? Well, through my cousins over there. They used to know her brothers, you know.
Uh-huh.
They run around together over there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think maybe one or two went to school together, and
Uh-huh.
not in Fremont, but there's another little town that was on the other side,
Okay.
Fremont. But they run around together, and then when Noah got out of the service and went over there and stayed with them too, you know.
Yeah.
I run around with them too, and I don't know, somehow we went over to her brother's house, you know, or well, father-in-law's house, I think.
Yeah.
We went over there, and
At the time, it was just her brother. You didn't know her or anything.
yeah, I didn't know anything about her or had any brothers or sisters or anything
Yeah.
else. But he had a lot of brothers and sisters. So we got together.
And so that's where you met her, at her house?
Huh?
So you met her at her own house? That's the first time you met her?
Well, we talked, you know, and sometimes I think that, I don't remember too well, but I think that she went out with her brothers, you know, they went out in different places and stuff like that. And then I started meeting her over there. And then I went over to the house and talked to her there and her father, and you know. And then we started going out together at different places. That's how we got together
Then you got married.
and got married.
What life advice would you pass along?
Yeah.
What kind of life advice do you have for me?
Well, I think you need to just be careful what you do
Mm-hmm.
and try to take care of what you got.
What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of?
What are you most proud of?
And what way? I don't know what.
Anything. Is there anything specific that you're most proud of? Or is it a person or your whole
Well,
family? What is it?
I'm proud that your grandma took care of everything, took care of all paperwork in my house, cars, and money and everything. But she was a good woman. She didn't spend where, you know, if she didn't have to spend it, she wouldn't spend it. And she saved us a lot of money.
Yeah. So you would say grandma is what you're most proud of.
Yeah, I'm proud of her.
I think that's a good one.
Este amor apasionado anda torvo alborotado por volver. Voy camino a la locura, hay un que toro me tortura. Sé querer. Nos dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y volver, volver, volver a tus brazos otra vez. Llegaré hasta donde estés, yo sé ver, quiero volver, volver, volver. nos dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y volver, volver, volver.
I think I have one more question for you. And I think this is, for me, this is my most important question. How would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered. Well, I just like all my kids to remember me and try to go on with their lives, you know. Just try to do the best they can and don't try to take advantage of anybody. Do the right thing for, you know.
Yeah. Well, how do you want us to remember you?
We love a grandpa and
I like that one. I think that's a good one.
it's a good one.
Yeah. As a loving father. As a loving father.
It's a loving.
And grandfather and great-grandfather. And great-great-grandfather.
And great-grandfather. Yeah, just remember me. Just keep on, I guess.
Keep on going?
Just keep on going and just say, well, I'm going to do my best I can. Because my grandfather told me to do right, to do the right thing.
I think that's a good one. I like that. I think that's a good one to
Asked
go
me
by.
if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Kingston, Texarkana, Monterey, Faraday, Santa Fe, Tallapoosa, Glen Rock, Black Rock, Little Rock, Oskaloosa, Tennessee, Chicopee, Spirit Lake, Grand Lake, Devil's Lake, Crater Lake, Beach Lake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville, Omaha, Shefferville, Jacksonville, Waterville, Costa Rica, Pittsfield, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreveport, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Diamantina, Pasadena, Catalina, see what I mean? I've been everywhere.